Yo, what's going on, everybody? So today, I'm making a first Ascendant video. I know I don't usually post this game, but to be honest with you, I'm having a lot of fun with it, and I'm not having a lot of fun right now with Destiny. So I probably plan on making more of these videos for at least a little bit. But today, we're going to be getting into an ultimate Lepic build. Now, I do want to do these for a lot of the Descendants. It's going to take a little long to make them all. I will make another one with Freyna very soon. I have Freyna almost done, and then I'm probably gonna move over to maybe like Sharon or somebody, or I don't know who I'm gonna move to, but either way, I'm gonna get into everything that you need to know about Lepic and how to be the best Lepic, and kind of how to go over like build crafting, because of course you can look up the builds and you can find the 7 second or 5 second devour or however whatever crazy title it is, which is true. You can do that, but I kind of want to show you why you can do that and what you should be doing, right? So this is my build, and you will see really similar between everybody's builds, but you'll always see a few changes. Now, if I could tell you, I'll tell you a few main parts that I think are part of should be a part of every single person's Lepic build, and then I can show you a little bit of, leeway. So I think that the few that are absolutely important are, of course, Fire Specialist. I think huge. A lot of just extra damage with that ult. You're getting crit rate and crit damage here. Again, must haves. Crits are where you get your damage from on this build. Skill extension, I think, is also a must. If you don't have this, which I'll get into that, but you get a lot less DPS off that. And I think those are probably the must haves on these builds. Now, I personally think things like front lines should be on everybody's build. Emergency measures is a little bit kind of crazy because it's like a little too much into skill crit, but to be honest, with I'll show you with the other mods on, honestly, it goes from me on this build having a 46% rate crit hit rate to a 36. So I mean, it's a healthy jump, and I think that it's still worth it. And again, crit hit damage. Another thing that I think is on a lot of builds is skill simplification. This is just a maximized modifier that will help you again hit those really really big numbers, and that can make it so you can again do 5 second bosses and shit like that. So, and then these two, because I've watched a lot of different builds videos, and I'm gonna go why I don't use a yellow mod here in a second, because I see a lot of people doing it, and I don't think it's as worth it as people make it seem. I use maximize efficiency. This helps me out a lot because, excuse me, because the main thing that I run into is, so whenever I pop my ult, you will, especially with a lot of duration, you will run out of skill. Usually, if you don't have max mana, and even with max mana, you don't always have max. You always don't get all your shots off. This helps heavily with that. I know you lose a little bit of max mana, but it's not that much, and this just helps being able to get those shots off. And then Iron Defense just helps. 90% defense is fucking massive, and the skill power modifier is actually a healthy amount of damage you're getting. So you're getting a pretty solid damage chunk with a lot of survivability. Same thing with increased HP. So that's what I rock. Now the things, there's a few things that you could most definitely slot in for different things. I think the main one that I see so many build videos that people do is put Battle of Stamina here. The reason I don't do this is because I just don't think it's worth it. I think skill duration's fine, but again, unless you're using other things like skill insight and stuff like that to nuke the skill cost, you just can't get that many shots off. And if you really would, I'd rather have less shots of bigger quantity than like have a super long ult, because as soon as you're done with that ult, unless you're going for nuking bosses, like one phasing them super fast, if you're doing it in a group or the later bosses, I would rather have number one health, number two be able to just get that burst damage off and then start firing my gun. So I just don't think it's really that good. Plus, again, you're losing out on about 100% of HP. So, which scales pretty good. So it's a very large amount of number. Like just if I take, I have 3,000 at a level 14 Lepic. If I go ahead and take this off and throw this on, I'm only at 1,700. So it's like not really comparable for me. Now, I want to go into, so there's two other mods that I see a lot of people using, and they're just overrated in my opinion. The first one is multi-talented. I don't see too many people using this, but basically it's, whenever you use a tech, because that's a lot of words, whenever you're using a tech active skill, your power skill range and power modifier is up by 15%. Sounds cool, because, you're just getting a flat 15%. Doesn't do much damage increase. It's really not that noticeable. It's whatever. It, again, I would rather have like iron defense or something that will just increase my survivability and it does more damage. Not that good. And then the other one is dangerous ambush. Sorry, not assassin. The thing with this is it's okay. I think you're getting a 25% skill power when they're not targeting you, which isn't bad for group play. And then on a skill attack with a mobilized target, which is where everybody talks about, the problem with it is usually, especially, this is pretty much useless in solo content, because in solo content, when you're using your ult, it immobilizes them. Then it'll go into a mobilized state, but that's after it's done. So you're not even going to get that off. And even if you're in a group play, you can get it off to where you'll sit there and have your ult and you'll wait for somebody to drop them and then you're doing it. But to be honest, I've tried to, even I've tried to pull it off, but it just doesn't work like that. It's just extremely situational, and to be honest, it's a healthy damage boost, but it's not worth all of the extremely specific. Sure, you could use this if you need the absolute maximum type of like damage, but whatever. I don't think it's ever worth it. Another one that people use is accelerated drift shaft. This is mainly just for the fast second kills. I get that. This is fine if you want that. If you want to, try to get those super fast times, you can just sit there and upgrade this all the way, and then be able to just roll at the beginning of your pop your ult, or roll then pop your ult, and then, or you could pop your ult and roll. It doesn't matter. And then you can just boom, 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 and kill the boss. So this is fine if for that, but I would never use anything else. Other than that, there's a few mods that'll be intertwined, but to be honest, again, I think these are the best, because I think the thing with Lepic is you want to build into duration, and you need to build into crits. You have to build into crits. Crits are the biggest hitter of the build. It is a night and day difference. If you get 2 crits compared to 5 crits, it's going to deal an insanely large amount of difference of damage. So that's why I think, emergency measures is not too many of crits. I think it's just always enough. There's any type of crits you could add to a build is great. Last build, of course, we're using Firearm Master. If you're not an Ultimate Lepic, which you don't need this, it's the only thing you're missing out if you're on a regular Lepic. So if you want to get to that next level, I recommend this. Again, changing weapon increases skill power. You don't even have to do anything for it. You pop your ult, and that counts as changing your weapon. So you don't have to do anything extra for it. You're just getting a flat 30% buff to your damage, which is just, of course, great. Not much to talk there. Some people, I'm not going to put a catalyst slot in this because I just don't need to. Especially once I max level, I have 85, and I have everything maxed out already. But, to be honest, if you want to, or you need to, you definitely can. The other mods, there's one more where you can use it for ad clear if you want, but I would always use Firearm Master, to be honest. It's just, I think, the best in the game for Lepic. So getting into the other part of the build, the main thing I want to preface here is, again, this is going to be your type of build. You can change it. There's not going to be a perfect build for everybody. That's the thing. Again, now these stats are going to be not great because I haven't farmed Slayer enough. But I do want to go over what I would get. So on your sensor, max MP here is by far the most important. If you take that off, you will have you have literally no MP. You will sit there and yeah, let's take that off. Or sorry, take that off. You will literally have 100. Like you have very little MP. So, hold on, never mind. So it is absolutely must that you have an MP modifier on it, so that you can, because if you have that little MP, you just can't get many all shots. So this is you have to have it. That's the only thing that you have to have on any of these. Now, of course, I would recommend having MP recovery in combat. I have out of combat. In combat's good because again, you'll always be gaining it. Out of combat's not bad in a group play because you can just not shoot the boss for a second and get your MP back. But of course, you don't want to stop shooting the boss. I'd always recommend having fire, or not maybe not fire, but whatever resist you're going to. I'd recommend having multiple of these. So if you're going against Frostwalker, blah blah blah, you can slot these in and get some sort of damage resistance. Because again, you're a Lepic, you want to build damage mods. Now you can always have, and I have 2 survivability mods, but if you want to make that like a third one and do a less damage but have higher survivability, absolutely okay. I think that's, overlooked with a lot of builds. I don't see a lot of people just actually caring about survivability, but even though when the game gets harder, it's perfectly fine to have survivability. Going into Slayer now, I do want to mention that yes, that these rolls on these Slayer, I'm pretty 99% sure are hard stuck. Like they're not gonna be. Every single sensor is gonna be 206 shield. There's no, I don't have any. I'm pretty sure every single processor is 646 health, right? So these are not gonna change. So yes, you're getting 2 mods that are doing virtually nothing for you. The shield doesn't. It's gonna take 1 extra shot, which sucks. But you can still make them useful again. This one has 3,000 defense on it and a MP recovery modifier. Great, just helps me get my MP back and defense up. Just simple, nothing crazy. You don't really need it. I'll of course get into the Slayer, but I think a lot of people know it already. This one's bad. This is a bad Slayer, but I just can't get a good one. Same thing with this one. It's just you would want, honestly, I'm not gonna lie, processor's so mid, but I know you can get damn, I don't even know if you can get much on your processor. I think you can definitely get defense and stuff like that, but again, I would want a resistance mod here, defense, max MP, defense here, MP recovery, and then whatever the hell. Now, of course, you want to use Slayer here. There's no point using anything else, to be honest. I've tried to be like, there's got to be some better, but there's not. It just, general rounds capacity helps with your LMGs a lot, which you're going to be using basically always until they either nerf them or add something that's not general round that's better. Again, rounds per magazine, same exact thing that helps with the LMGs. Skill cost plus 15, which is where you need that MP, and then skill power plus 26%. So yeah, it's such a big damage change, so it's definitely worth it. And then when defeating enemies inflict with Toad, that's whenever you throw your gravity grenade and people get like gravitized towards it or whatever. You can get your MP at a % chance, which is whatever, cool, but it doesn't help a boss fight. But that's what I'd get for components. Components are a very important thing, but you got to farm pyro a lot, which is not the easiest. It's not that bad though once you get a build going. Now, here's my reactor. This is by no means God roll, of course. I will get into the gun in a second, but basically all you need here is of course a fire tech, and I would really recommend having skill crit hit damage. I think that's a guarantee, that's a must basically. And there's a few other things that I'd recommend having. You could have either a fire skill boost ratio. For sure, fire skill power will increase your damage by a lot. I don't know if I have any other mods. Skill crit hit is also not bad. I wouldn't do crit kill. I would not do skill crit hit, to be honest, because it's just the extra like 1 to 2% is just not really worth it. I think my god roll would be skill crit hit damage and fire. Um, Fire skill power boost, because that's just going to make it deal the absolute most. I know skills against Colossus sounds good, but to be honest, it just doesn't look that good. Like I haven't seen side by side testing. I haven't really tested it much, so I won't be 100% confident on that. My reactor luck has not been great, but those are what I'd go for the reactor. Now the actual weapon itself, I've seen every Lepic player preach Sheikah Garden, except for one person, which I forget their name, so I can't even like shout them out or nothing. This gun's not good, to be honest. I'm sorry, but it's not. Wouldn't recommend farming for it unless you really like it. Sure, if you like tactical rifles, sure. But everyone looks at this and be like, oh wow, using a tech skill gives you 12% skill power. Doesn't work. Doesn't work. You have to have the gun out, and so if you throw your grenade, you proc the skill, you pop your ult, it's gone. You pop your ult and you get it, well, but too late. 5 seconds, you're going to be shooting your ult for longer than 5 seconds. This gun's just not that good. If again, you really like tactical rifles, sure you could use this. If if you're another tech character who doesn't, I could see how this gun could be good. But for Lepic, I've seen so many Lepic players use this. Not what you want to be using. The gun that you definitely want to be trying to get is Enduring Legacy. Enduring Legacy will, of course, it just basically stacks fire. And it's kind of like Fallen Hope, but for fire. They deal more damage to fire targets, set targets on fire more. Great gun for DPS. Of course, Afterglow is another one you'd want, just for, again, raw damage, but that's not, character specific. That's just because the gun's cracked. But Enduring Legacy is what you want. So if you want to look for, like, the best reactor, it's probably an Enduring Legacy one, to be honest. Now, like, I have a Thunder Cage one that I've used, but so it's really just, again, whatever gun that you want to use in a boss fight. I recommend having either your launcher, your sniper rifle, your whatever. I always have a machine gun, and then you could kind of just slot a second gun in there. And then just whenever you want to use your ult, hold it out, use your ult. Doesn't really matter what legendary you get, to be honest. Just, it'd be great if you could get that rifle, but whatever. But yeah, that's basically the video. So I just wanted, to go more in depth on, the different mod sockets and how you make a Lepic build, because again, so many people, not hating on them, but will make a build video about people and kind of just throw it out there. I've seen so many guides that people don't have a lot of catalyst slots or any, or very, very few. Which is fine. It's week 2 of the game. It's okay to sit there and have these weaker builds to show people to get into Lepic. But I do want to make more of a finality one. Also, I didn't talk about swapping mods. You can. Reason I didn't talk about it, the devs have already said that they do not want that in the game. They want to patch it up, so I'm not even going to talk about it, just because, especially with how the devs work, so far, it seems like they're going to patch it pretty quickly. I would not be surprised if like this Tuesday rolls around and it's patched. So, or nerfed, whatever, however they plan on working around that. So I'm not even gonna worry about swapping mods, because you can definitely swap the mods and get a lot of damage off, but whatever. So again, that's the build video. I wanted to talk about every key component, again, be able to make it so you can make your own build. You don't have to just follow somebody else's. So that's been it for me. Again, I plan on making a Freyna video extremely soon. I just gotta like fully master her. I need to get a couple more catalyst slots, and then I want to get the gameplay loop down. But then once I do that, I'll have this video come out. Then I'll have the Freyna video come out. It definitely will take me a little while before I make another video, which will probably again be Sharon. So yeah, that's been it for me now. stream every day almost on Twitch. I don't really stream on YouTube that much, but I do stream almost every day on Twitch. So go over to my Twitch if you want to watch me live playing the game, seeing what I'm doing and everything like that. But that's been it for me. If you guys enjoy the video, I would really like a like. If you like what I do, leave a subscribe. I plan on dropping more content in between. I don't want to drop super sporadically with this, but also I don't know this game that well, and I don't want to just drop bad information out there. So I want to make sure I know what I'm talking about when I drop stuff, so I don't want to mislead people or anything like that. I want to make sure that I can drop good content for y'all. So that's been it for me. Peace out.